This podcast is brought to you by Financial Fashion Company. I wanted to remind you guys to go check out our store. You can visit www.elfandfstore.com, check out our positive apparel, and if you see something that you like, use discount code ELF and F10 to get 10% off your first order. Back to the show.
Yo, what's going on, podcast family? It's the CEO, Mr. John Best, and I'm coming to talk to you about Anchor. If you haven't heard of Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free, and it has creation tools so you can record your podcast from your phone and your computer. Also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Music, and many more platforms. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Now, if you're interested, download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. Now back to the show. You are now tuned in to We Invest Different Podcast, where we have high-level conversations. I'm Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm Victor Thomas II.
Let's tap in.
Tapping in, welcome back. This is another conversation, man.
You gonna really hold it like that, bro?
Yeah, man, cause like, hey, we getting it real. How we living? We gotta do what we gotta do, y'all. I got a baby in the house. I got a baby in the house now. You know, so we in the car recording, but that shows commitment. So,
all right,
it is what it is. It is what it is, and that's how. That shows what we just talked about. We always talking about how stuff don't go as planned sometimes. It is what it is. You just gotta deal with it and make adjustments. But man, it's good to have you back. I ain't even gonna hold you, man. It feel good, man. It feel good. So man, this conversation 15, I believe, conversation 15. Last conversation, I believe. We talked about lessons or whatever, but the conversation before that, we talked about the MH10 event, which is actually this Saturday. I'm excited about that. I still have to do some things. I have some things that I have left to do. I actually sent the shirts off. I sent the shirts off to Florida to this young lady who actually offered, to work with me, work with us in terms of getting the vinyl done and everything for the shirts. Because normally, the logo is green. So, the more color you have when it comes to vinyl, the more expensive it can get. So she's definitely working with us with the shirts. So she's giving us I'm talking about a good price to do the shirts for. She got discounts for as far as shipping. So hopefully, the plan is to have them done in time, so we won't have to overnight them. But she said she got some new machines in, so she should be able to get some work in. So that's good news. But anyway, Vic, I ain't even introduced. We ain't even introduced. Welcome back. Welcome back to We Invest Different Podcast. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
I'm your other co-host Victor Thomas II.
Man, I'm vibing. I'm really vibing, man. Before you got here, I really was dozing off. We was looking at this crazy behind show/movie documentary about a man who did sperm donating for a living. So these people, I'm talking about a lot of women. These women was coming in, some were married, trying to have children or whatever, and he's injecting them with his sperm instead of the sperm that they want. So the kids are now finding out, like they've done research trying to find out who their daddy is, and they found out that their daddy was the donor. So all of these kids finding out who their brothers and sisters are and who their father was.
Dang.
So it's crazy, man. But anyway, man, it's good to be back. How you doing, Vic?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just staying focused, stepping into this new balance, I would say. Trying to have multiple things going on. It ain't always a smooth transition when you pile new things come into your life. So really just staying aware of that and remembering to keep those things in place. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, y'all. Keep those things in place that were already in place prior to the new stuff. You know what I mean? And remembering to rest, man. That's the number one thing. Remembering to rest. I took a good nap today, man. I probably ain't took no nap in so long. Like, what's a nap? But it was good to take a nap today. I'm grateful for that, man.
There he go again. You always talking about me, bro. Like, it'd be funny how you be doing that because you talking about rest and I ain't had that. That's why I was just saying I was just dozing off because I put Micah to sleep at like 5 o'clock this morning, bro. So I mean, I've been getting used to actually not getting sleep until daytime, for real. So I get about a good 3-4 hours of sleep, like from 6, and I probably get up at like 9. That's why when you called me the other day, I was still asleep, bro. I was like, man, I had put Micah down around that same time again, and shit. I mean, bro, I was going to sleep.
I figured so what was going on. I'm like, this nigga over here knocked out.
I'm knocked out, boy.
I don't hear about them newborns. Before I had them newborns, man, what? Sleep come when you can get it, bro.
I ain't even gonna lie. I kind of didn't believe it. I kind of didn't. A lot of stuff that people was telling me, I was like, man, whatever. Like, we'll see. But now I'm seeing, like, yeah, they do keep you up, boy. Because it's like, after it takes time for you to put them to sleep. Then after you get put them to sleep, you know, most of the time you fed them for them to go to sleep. Then you have to burp them. Then if they have gas, you have to comfort them when they got gas. And then once you get them to sleep, sometimes they start using the bathroom while they sleep and they wake up. So then you gotta. It's just an ongoing, you know.
Always something.
Yeah. So.
Always.
You know, but it's still beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Because my son, he'll calm. He's pretty calm. You know, my family say I was calm, so I think that's the reason why. And her family say she was calm as well. So he literally only fuss when there's something wrong with him. He don't just fuss. Well, all babies only fuss when there's something wrong with them. But I'm just glad to have a healthy baby to not have, you know, much wrong with him besides, you know, gas or him being hungry. You know, he's not actually crying because he's sick or something like that. So that's a blessing.
That's right, man. Praise God, man.
I'm not even gonna be ungrateful about that. But man, speaking of everything, you know, good to be back, like you were just saying. So we don't even know what we was gonna talk about.
I do. I know. I didn't say that.
Okay.
You know, God gonna give it to me. Cause I'm realizing that I'm not the best at coping with stress. For real. Cause it really has been shown to me trying to quit smoking this vape.
Wow.
You dig what I'm saying? Like, shit is real. Like,
that's crazy you start doing that.
I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? I'm just simply trying, bro. And I've tried before, and I realized that the 2 times when I want to smoke it is when I feel a little bit of stress or when I'm like idle. But that stress piece is a mug. You know what I mean? And it's really revealing to me that I ain't really where I thought I was when it comes to dealing with stress, because I ain't got that no more. I'm trying not to have that, you know what I mean? And, you know, one thing that I tried to do was one day I was in the shower. You know how we do, like, the meditative showers. I was doing that one day. And God was like, man, get you a strategy on how to cope. You know, what you going to put in place, or what you going to do when you start feeling that stress, when you would typically hit the vape. And I feel like that's important, but then it's like, I don't know what that look like. And, you know, I could probably look on the internet and find some tips. But that stress, man, I know I can breathe and stuff like that, but what else can I do? And I was wondering if you had any ideas on that.
Well, while just listening to you, I couldn't help but ask, what do you feel, where do you feel the stress is coming from? Because generally, you know, people don't just be stressed. So it's like it has to be coming from somewhere. So is it any place, before we talk about a way to relieve that stress, you gotta first try to at least figure out where the stress is coming from. So do you have any idea of why you stressed?
Man, it could just come from just life in general, you feel me?
No, I'm talking about you personally. You personally, like what you feel like is stressing you out. Because I mean, if you asking the question of like stress tips, like I'm not saying like spill over it, like if it's something personal, but I'm just saying like, oh, like what's something general? What's a general statement you can say that says, okay, this is probably the area that's stressing me out?
I mean, like I was saying, it could come from multiple areas in life. I mean, you got work stress, you got relationship stress, you got stress of, you know, knowing that you need to be doing something, but you end up not doing it. That kind of stress. It can come from a wide array of things. But for the sake of conversation, let's say relationship stress. You know, that stress that, you know, two people seeing one thing two different ways. That's stress.
Well, that I feel like that stress always gets better with communication, and I learned that in my relationship. You know, because being a person that struggle with communication, I see that, you know, that affects the whole relationship, because a lot of things can get unsaid and a lot of things can go unheard because they wasn't said, and a person is not going to automatically know, you know, what a person is feeling.
Say that one more time, sir.
Sometimes, you know, when you don't communicate, a lot of things go unsaid and unheard because they were unsaid. So a person can't hear what hasn't been said. So you can't expect somebody to know something that you haven't said anything about. And that's what I personally had to learn when it comes to communication, because I would literally give the silent treatment and expect somebody to know what's wrong with me. And I haven't said a word. So as far as relationship stress, that's like the number one thing, is learning how to communicate what you feeling. Because a big turning point for stress, here goes the mental health coming in here. Like a big turning point when it comes to stress is not releasing. And one way to not release is keeping things in and not communicating. I don't care if you have to talk to yourself and release some things. That helps you put it in perspective.
So you're saying that when you speak about something, that's releasing.
Yes. Out loud. Like when you do it out loud, it don't matter whether you talking to somebody or talking to yourself. When you saying it out loud, it's sound. You remember we started talking about sound? Right. It's vibration. It's very spiritual. Words are spirits. So that's why when you keep them in, you keep those words in, they still spirit. It don't make them not be spirit. So those same things are still in your mind. So when you say it out loud, you're actually releasing that. You're saying it. You're releasing that spirit. That's why they say watch what you say. Because when you release it, it's actually coming out. You actually release that out of your mouth.
So like what? First of all, I always thought that releasing it was just something that I would do in my mind. So this whole saying it out loud is a new thing to me. So I don't really understand. So I'm thinking like when you all right, say if I'm stressed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm to myself and I'm trying to release it. You know what I mean? This is the scenario. Do I just speak my frustrations, or do I speak my frustrations in a positive way?
Nah, you speak exactly how you feel. Speak exactly how you feel.
Like fuck this shit.
And be okay.
This bullshit.
But be okay at that moment with those feelings. Don't be ashamed of how you feeling.
Yeah.
You have to accept those emotions that you feeling, because you're human. You're not perfect. You're not gonna feel 100% comfortable. You're not gonna feel your happiest at all times. This is one of those moments where you're bothered right now. So give yourself that space to be like, I'm gonna feel however I want to feel right now, because I have to release this. Then at that point I can decide on whether I need to do what I need to do after that. But I feel that it's smart to release that before you make any decisions. Because if you keep that bottled in and you trying to avoid your real feelings. You're trying to avoid that. You're trying to walk around and pretend that you don't feel this way because you want to be positive. Like, that's the same as being that. You might as well just be negative, because you not being your true self and you're not being you're not being honest with yourself is worse than actually being lost. Like, you're pretending to not. You're pretending that you don't feel a certain type of way is the same as you walking around lost. So free yourself by being yourself and accepting how you feeling.
So I should just be totally honest with how I feel.
Yep.
Like, even if it's not even positive.
He desires truth from the inward part. Every man get free with truth from the inward part. Every man. I don't care.
What does that mean, though?
If you tell the truth, it'll free you. The truth, do you remember, it was a saying that said the truth shall set you free. You know, once you tell the truth, I'm not saying that if you do something wrong and you tell the truth, you're going to be set free all the time. A man got to reap what he sow. Every man got to reap what he sow.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, just by you being truthful, you can forgive yourself. It'll free you in that way. It'll free you from that in within yourself. That's how you forgive yourself. So yeah, bro. I mean, that's just how I feel with the question that you asked. You asked me how you cope with, relationship stress, right? And I was talking about communicating and all of that stuff. It's all a part of this stuff, man. Stress and all of this stuff, man. And I forgot what question you asked.
No, you answered it, but we ain't gonna worry about it. It's on tape. But the other thing too, man, I'm realizing is like, bro, I gotta get on a sleep pattern, bro. And I think that add to my stress too. You know what I mean?
That's a big
my
fact.
reliance on that vape, because that reliance on that vape being heavy. Because before that, it was cigarettes, and I called myself doing better with the vape, but the vape ain't no better. You know what I mean?
How does it make you feel? Like, I mean, I have did vapes before. Like, I've tasted a hookah vape. I've tasted a THC pen.
Yeah.
But like, I haven't done it long enough for me to be like, okay. So explain, like, how does it, like, what does it feel like? What you feeling when you do it?
It's like a relaxing thing, bro. The best way I can feel is like a quick blast of like, that's the best way I can explain it. It's just a quick,
like an inhaler.
Yeah, I guess you can call it that.
That's what it sounds like, bro. I can't stop thinking about just inhaling.
Yeah. But see, at the end of the day, I'm learning that that's what I just need to do. Like, in lieu of me hitting that vape, I noticed that, like, if I'm at work and I feel like I need to hit it, just breathe. You know what I mean? But it just seems like that vape just kind of throw some extra on it for you. Like, okay, super breath. You know what I mean?
Dang, you really just made me think about something.
What's that?
It has to do with mental health, and it has to do with just life. Because you've had this experience in life, and I've had this experience in life, and I know people that had this experience in life. But it sounds like, bro, you really proving that addiction can come in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
It don't have to be a hard drug. It don't have to be something very, 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 very detrimental. It can be something very small, like my cup of coffee that I gotta have every morning.
Well,
I was just thinking about that. I'm like, man, I gotta stop putting this dairy in my body every day. And it's almost to the point where I have to have it. And I did some studying upon that, the reason why. It's something in that stuff. It's a hormone. Well, not a hormone. It's a chemical. It's a sugar. It's something inside of that processed sugar, man, that we are addicted to. And it's telling our body, it's messaging to our body that we need it.
And it's messaging our body that we need it.
That we need that. We're addicted to that processed sugar. And it messes up our neurotransmitters. it damages our neurotransmitters. So it's like the transmission, the messages be messed up, because like that's how I be telling you need something, or when you're addicted to something, it's really because your neurotransmitters has been compromised by that addiction. So it's telling you that you need something when it really doesn't. Like, you, in reality, you don't need nothing but God. But we do what? We
reaching out.
We reach out for a lot of stuff, man. So
you remember, you ever heard when Carlos Miller used to always say, "Quit touching shit"?
Hell yeah,
bro. When I don't know how I ended up thinking about that, bro. But I remember, like, bro, that's some deep shit. Like, cause when you touching shit, you reaching out for shit.
That's right.
While you putting your hand, be in the place where you ain't gotta touch shit, nigga.
Yeah, bro.
Quit touching shit. That's what I received.
Leave it alone, bro.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But like you said, but from what I heard you say in a nutshell, our minds get fucked up into thinking that we need this stuff.
Stress to do it, man.
I'm telling you.
Stress, man. Stress. Like, I was just thinking about stress in general. When you're stressed out and stress takes over you, right? That's because we are at a lower vibrational state. And I'm understanding that more and more. Like, man, even down to the stuff we watch, I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, this stuff is really a science. It's really a science. I mean, cause and effect. Like, everything is cause and effect. So I mean, like, nothing happens by chance, nothing happens, by luck or magic. Like, stuff is cause and effect. So I mean, let's say, like I just said, by something that you watch, whatever energy that's in whatever you're watching is going inside of you. So even down to the verbiage, the way that they, like, whether it's sarcastic or not, like, whatever spirit, whatever energy, whatever frequency that's going on in whatever you're watching, you're receiving that. You're looking at that. You're receiving that. So if your thoughts follows after the movie goes off, that's why. Have you ever wondered why when you watching Rocky, you want to be a boxer all of a sudden? There's a reason. There's a reason for that, because that vibration and that frequency is coming out of the TV and going directly into you, and now you feel like you can fight. All of a sudden, just by watching a movie with somebody else fighting, you feel like you can fight. So that's amazing how energy transforms itself in many ways, and that's why we have to be very selective in what we receive and be very selective in what we internalize. And we talk about that a lot, because everything, bro, everything is a response to what you internalize. You know what I'm saying? So
I think, it's so weird, bro, this day and age, because there's so much stuff coming at us all the time, always there, so easily accessed. You know what I mean? Back in the old days, there wasn't no TV, there wasn't no phone. You just got outside and the folks you around. And I think that's really all we need, bro. You know what I mean? Nature and our folks, bro. We done got tricked into, I got to have my phone.
Man, what?
If you ain't got a TV in your house, your house ain't complete. Jesus. But all these are things that take from us. I mean, we can figure out a way to make it feed us, but we got to be conscious of that. Because it's so easy to lose that consciousness, I learned. Especially with stress and just day to day, and even just the pressures of keeping up with what's going on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a real. I don't want to get too godly, bro, but it really comes down to it being the division of his people and that people. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, man. And that's the whole goal. Transitioning. That's really the whole goal for the MH10 movement. What you were just saying, like how back in the day we was community oriented, and how we had a certain love for one another, and fellowship meant a lot more.
Yeah.
So one of the main objectives of MH10 is to build that community outside of social media, which is why we haven't made a Facebook page. which is why we haven't made an Instagram page. We only have a group for encouragement and accountability, because that's where we can actually contact one another outside of, posting on a story or posting on a profile for everybody else to see. This is something sacred. This is for the movement. This is specifically for, the spreading of mental health awareness and the information, the knowledge behind the importance of focusing on that part of ourselves so we can become more conscious of it. And that's why we made the group. So during the event on this weekend, the whole goal is for everybody to tap into our community, and so they will be there for every event, because the goal is to build a healthy community so that we can continue to have these communities and these relationships and this fellowship that we're speaking of, that we need, bro, from back in the day. Right. We need that around right now, man, because we losing touch, bro. It's like now people aggravates us. Like when people want to talk, I ain't even gonna lie, like when people want to talk, you kind of get aggravated now. It's like, I don't really feel like talking.
But see, I think that's valid, bro, because we don't need to be talking to everybody.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Man, fuck them folks. But
excuse us. Hey, somebody just pulled next to us and they acting weird. Y'all excuse us.
Did you know stress is one of the leading causes of chronic physical and mental health issues? This is why we started this movement, MH10, Mental Health 10 Minutes. And we want to inspire everybody to take at least 10 minutes a day for a walk, jog, or run, or even if it's just a stroll in the sunlight to get some fresh air. The goal is just for you to focus on yourself for those 10 minutes. And what this does, it lowers the chances of you experiencing anxiety and depression, because we all know that stress leads to those things. So get outside today and take your 10 minutes. And if you want to post on social media, use hashtag MH10 or mental health 10 minutes. Now back to the show.
I don't think it's wrong when, you don't want to talk to people, because some people just ain't your people. And I know a lot of people gonna come with the boo-boo that, like, bro, it's hard for me to explain, bro, because I got a certain level of conversation, you feel me? Like, I'm not a big fan of small talk. And that's typically what I expect from people. And I find myself trying to conform to being a small talker. But now I'm sick of that, bro. You dig what I'm saying?
I feel you 100%.
So when somebody come to me and want to talk, yeah, I might, bro, like, no, I don't want to talk. Because you trying to talk about some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, bro.
Yeah, man. So I think it's valid, bro. Like, sometimes, hey, I don't want to talk. To you, that don't mean I don't want to talk. And I ain't okay with it, but I ain't with all that talking about nothing.
Man, sometimes I don't even want to talk when somebody want to talk about something.
Really?
Yeah, I need to make a phone call now. I just don't feel like it. So it just be like, sometimes you just don't feel like talking. Like, it's just sometimes some conversations can be exhausting, bro.
And that's okay too, bro.
Yeah, just be exhausting, but now I gotta go ahead and hit this segment, bro, and I gotta fill you in with the financial theme of the month. But the segment, that we always do, is what you learn. So I know you really just got done kicking flavor. So I'll go first and then you can go after me. So what have I learned recently? I really just learned to move without thinking much. What I mean is, move without overthinking. Like sometimes some things require a thought, and some things don't require too much thought. And I'm learning how to make decisions in a timely fashion, because sometimes some things happen, like we always say, you know, some stuff happens, and it be stuff that you don't plan for. But in those moments, I take it as an opportunity to grow in decision making and grow in my response, my responding and not reacting, actually making a conscious decision, actually thinking through it, critical thinking, and making a decision. And I think that's very masculine. That's masculine energy. That's that masculine energy, you know, because we supposed to have a balance between the feminine and the masculine. But it's a lot of shit in the food. A lot of us are more feminine now than masculine. Meaning like we more emotional people are less apt to making quick decisions or effective decisions, timely decisions. People that think a lot and people that are, you know, emotional, that are indecisive. That's the feminine energy. But a person that could make a decision and act on and move, that's masculine. But we need both, because if we didn't have both, we'd just be doing stuff. That's why a man need a woman. You see what I'm saying? That's why a man, a real masculine male, bro, need that feminine counterpart. You know, because it calms us. We need that calming energy. We need that holding, that wait a minute energy sometimes. Because sometimes we'll just make decisions. Because that's just how men are. We move. That's the masculine. You know, but women, they come with the mind. They come with the okay, did you consider this? Did you remember this? Did you remember that? They think about all of the in-between things that we don't think about, because we thinking about the overall picture, because that's how men are.
Right.
We're very result driven. We see the result that we want and we just go. Women, they like, I want the result, but I don't know if I want that shit like that. Like they thinking, like they really have to think through that before they actually go after aggressively with the masculine energy, because even feminine can have masculine. You know, when women get to the place where they make decisions and they do their thing, that's their masculine energy. Maybe some women are more masculine than feminine.
Right. That thing this day and age, man, it go, man, you don't know what you might get in a person. You know what I mean? Because, like you said, for the food, then you got the upbringing. You know what I mean?
Real talk.
You don't know what a person where they might be at in that balance of both.
But that is what I'm learning, man. I'm just learning, you know, to make decisions in a timely manner, you know, in situations that wasn't planned. And I think that's very valuable and that's very key to manhood and adulthood and just life in general. Right. So what about you, bro? Well, you already said it. Like the whole podcast was about what you recently learning.
Right.
So,
but I'm in the process of learning, man.
Really?
Dealing with this stress, man. And you know, really, and I think I learned it from you, cuz just now, speaking exactly how I feel out loud. I'm definitely gonna try that.
Bro, that's gonna free you, bro.
I'm definitely okay.
It's gonna free you.
I'm definitely down for it. I want to smoke right now.
The truth, bro. Yeah, release that, bro. You know, one of the main things that I use is one of my personal powers. I'm gonna call it that. One of my personal powers that I became conscious of is damn.
God dang, motherfucking personal power.
Yeah, I know.
I said I wanted to smoke right now. And you were saying something about me.
Oh yeah. One of my personal powers, because you know I haven't ate no meat but fish for real in like over a year now. So one of the things that I have done that got me through to that point is to acknowledge the fact that I love meat. Like, I'm not one of those people that don't eat meat and just be like,
I don't even want it.
Like, nah, I do want it, but I understand what it does to my body. Like, it's just a sacrifice, and because I know what it does to my body, it makes me not want it as much. It's not saying that I don't like it, because it tastes good. Why wouldn't I like it? It tastes good.
Right.
You know, but that's why it's a level of consciousness. That's all it is. It's just a level of consciousness. It's not saying that I don't like stuff, or it's not saying that people that don't eat meat don't like it. Some do. Some very... Bro, I love steak. And I acknowledge the fact that sometimes I still want one. And I'm not afraid to say, like, dang, I want some chicken right now. Or, like, my girl will be eating, and, you know, it's the goal for us to be on one accord when it comes to that. But, you know, everybody have their transitions at different times. And it's not considerate of me to force someone to do something that they're not into. So with the knowledge and with the education, though, she's seeing the value of eating healthy. So slowly but surely the transition is happening, and I mean, shit, it took me 3 years anyway, you know, consciously to make that decision.
Right.
But anyway, man, now that we got through what you learned, the last segment is the financial thing for May. And we said it on the last episode, but the financial thing for this month is never spend more than you make. Because I have done that. A lot of us, like I said last week, a lot of us will make $50,000 a year but got an $80,000 car. That's not smart. So I came up with this thing, right? Never spend more than 30% of your income. Don't spend more than 30% of your income. If you can live off 30%, do that.
I think that take. I've heard that before, and it always be like, how the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Just in places I've been.
That's a goal.
Because it's like, where the hell you gonna live? Say if you making like, let's say you motherfucker at the warehouse, you probably bringing in like 30 something. You know what I mean? 30 something a year. 32, 33, 34, 35. Come on, man. Where the hell you gonna spend living on 30% of that?
Hey, but that show you even more that jobs is not for us. That show you even more that it's really a losing battle, because how can you survive off of that? There's no possible way you can really survive off of that. You're gonna work yourself to death. Like, so it's not a winning industry. So that's
your cue.
That's what I'm saying. Because really, it's not really for you to do that in that way. It's really for you to, like, okay, well, there's so many ways, man. There's so many ways to actually make that happen. Like, okay, like if you got a dual household, because, you know, your 30% might be your 30%, but between both of y'all, it's 60%.
I did that.
You see what I'm saying? So y'all living off 60%. You probably be making 50. She might be making 50. So that's 60. So y'all living off 60,000 still.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like y'all really ain't losing. Y'all living life how y'all want to live, and y'all investments are still 70% of y'all income is being invested. Y'all living off the 30 collectively as a team.
Right.
That's boss talk, bro.
Jeez.
So that's some flavor, dog. And I got that from my mentors, and also I've actually practiced this. I need to be more consistent, you know, but I need to practice this more. I have practiced it before, you know, and I had an acronym that I used to use a long time ago to break up, you know, my money in percentages, and it was the acronym PIGS, I think. Was it PIGS? You got your personal, you got your investments, you got your gifts, and you got your savings. Pigs. Yeah, pigs. So I broke that up into, like, well, that's 4 letters, right? 25%. Well, you break it up in however way you broke it up, but you can give 30, 30, 30, 10, whichever way you want to do. That's how you break it up. 30% of your money go to your personal. 30% of your money go to investments. 30% can go to, your gift for a charity, or, and the S is whatever. Savings could be investments as well. It's that, it's whatever way you want to do that, but it's just you breaking down the numbers, 30, 30, 30, 10. So you'll know exactly where your money is going. That's for people who have problems overspending and budgeting. You'll know exactly where your money is going when you use that acronym. PIGS: personal, investment, your giving, and your savings.
So like when you implement that, rather, do you just keep all your money in one account, or do you kind of like section it off into different accounts or different sections, or do you just have like a ledger where it's like, this how much money I got, this how I got it broke down?
Yeah, that's usually how I have it. Okay, let's say if you got a lump sum of money, right? If you end up getting a lump sum of money, you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna spend 30% of this here, 30% of this here, 30% of this here. Now you can get, more organized, and be like, this coming from this account, this account, this account. But I'm speaking of, like, if you see all of your income right here, right now. If you see all of the income that you're making, and you like, okay, boom, I got this amount of money. 30% need to go here, 30% need to go there. That's what I say. That's what I have done. So I don't necessarily put them in different accounts, but I just notate what percentage goes where. But man, that's our cue, man. That's our cue. Thank you guys for tuning in to We Invest Different Podcast. See everybody this weekend at the MH10 community event. Looking forward to that PS5 raffle. We're gonna have some t-shirts out there. We're gonna have some refreshments out there. We're gonna have this great event, this great itinerary. Looking forward to it. But before we get out of here, you got anything left to say, Vic?
Man, good conversation, man. Glad I learned something today from you, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Man, we learn things from each other like all the time.
Right.
All the time. It's a pleasure. But appreciate everybody for tuning in for conversation number 15. By the time y'all hear this, it'll be the day of the event. So, tapping in, tapping out. I'm co-host Mr. John Michael Best.
And I'm the co-host Victor Thomas II.
And we gone.
All right.